Welcome into the Bitcoin Made Simple podcast. I'm your host, Cory. I didn't want to make this video. I really didn't, but Michael Saylor is just driving me up a wall. It's actually why I'm like behind a week on an episode, because I was like gonna do this, and then I was just like, no, I can't. But it's just annoying me. I swear this isn't supposed to become the Michael Saylor channel, but he's really saying a lot of stupid stuff lately. Anyways, before we get into that, you should get yourself a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. Go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin Made Simple. Use promo code Bitcoin Made Simple to get 5% off of your order. And speaking of getting a Bitbox, maybe Michael Saylor doesn't want you to do that because he thinks you're some crazy crypto anarchist that doesn't want to adhere to the rules, and you should keep your Bitcoin in a bank and just trust everybody. The old saying, the old Bitcoin saying of, trust, don't verify. um, so he was on a podcast recently, and to summarize, he said that the only people that want to keep their Bitcoin in self custody are people that are some type of crypto anarchists that don't want to adhere to the rules and don't want to recognize government and blah 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 blah. And I have some news for you, Michael. It's not just those people. It's people that don't want to get ripped off and scammed. It's it's people that want out of the current banking system. That's the plan. That's the purpose of self custody. Is taking self responsibility. You know, I'm sorry, Michael, if you don't like that, then keep your Bitcoin in Chase Bank or wherever you want to keep it. Get your couple percent yield. Good for you. Uh, that probably works for someone who has billions of dollars like you do, and you likely will be able to pay your way around any future regulations and issues that may arise from getting trapped in a custody situation, custodying your Bitcoin uh, on a with a third party. But Bitcoin is not just for you, as you eloquently put out later. It's for everyone, and the vast majority of them need self custody, sir. Um, and by the way, I mean, I really like. I'm not trying to make this the anti Michael Saylor channel. It's not. That's not the purpose. Um, but he keeps saying stupid stuff, and not enough people are saying stuff against it. Like, where it's like, dude, like, tell me that you came into Bitcoin in 2020 without telling me. No, I didn't come in much more before that, before him, financially speaking, but I was relatively, not obsessively, but closely watching the space for years before that. So I'm not going to get into my story because a lot of you guys probably already know it. But I just like the things. And here's the thing: like, I'll gladly have him on the show. I mean, I've reached out to him before, to try and get him on the show. Um, I've, you know, he's been on a lot of shows that are, the hosts are friends of mine and stuff like that. Um, but he is dead wrong about, like, I mean, maybe he didn't articulate it well enough. I don't know, but you shouldn't be putting out messaging saying that anything that insinuates that self-custodying your Bitcoin is a bad idea, um, because we've just seen, I mean, I hate to harp on this, we've seen it time and time again. If you keep your Bitcoin with some third party, that third party will one day go up in flames or poof, go up in smoke, even worse. I guess if there's flames, there's a chance that you can salvage what's there. But poof, yeah, it might go up in smoke and be gone like a magic trick. I mean, we've seen this within the last couple of years. Um, you know, FTX, Sam Bankman Fried just, you know, took everyone's Bitcoin. Celsius, all the way back to Mount Gox. I mean, it's just, if it's not your keys, it's not your coin. It's as simple as that. And to me, Michael Saylor talks like someone that's in the fiat world, still is. That's where he wants to live. I mean, that's where he's made his money. So I guess, why would you want to leave that? That's where he's become uber successful. Um, at the risk of sounding naive, because I don't pay attention to all his business inner workings, but I'm sure he's provided some value. I don't even know what the hell MicroStrategy even does, to be completely honest. I didn't even know what MicroStrategy was or who Michael Saylor was before he announced that he was buying Bitcoin. So that's how much of an impact he had in my life. I don't know. When I heard MicroStrategy was buying Bitcoin, I might as well have heard that. I might as well have heard that the Micro Machines were buying Bitcoin. Um, I don't know. I mean, Micro Machines. You guys don't know what those are, but they're old little toys, little toy cars. I don't. I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't know anything about him, so he provided some value in the fiat world that made him money. But we're moving to a Bitcoin world. The Bitcoin world is a world where you have to provide extreme value to extract Bitcoin from others. Um, he's capitalizing on a fiat mindset where, I mean, good for him. If I could do the same thing, I guess I'd probably do it. But, take out a massive loans, buy Bitcoin with it, and pay back in fiat terms. I mean, it's kind of gaming the system. So, from a fiat perspective, it's pretty smart. I just so I have nothing against them doing that. That's Everybody should do that if you could. It's just frustrating to just see him go out there and suggest that, you're just some crypto anarchist if you want to keep your Bitcoin on a Bitbucks02 hardware wallet. Um, if you want to keep it on self custody, your own Bitcoin, you're some bad actor, almost the way he's making it sound. And I think that's annoying. I think that's naive, and I think that's stupid. Um, he did say, he did, to full disclosure, he came out and he tweeted after the backlash, I assume, and said, "I support self custody for those willing and able, the right to self custody for all, and freedom to choose the form of custody and custodian for individuals and institutions globally. Bitcoin benefits from all forms of investment by all types of entities and should welcome everyone." Okay. Thank you for that. So I guess he's backtracking a little bit, but still, point being is he is saying that he thinks you should custody your Bitcoin with a bank. He's saying, yeah, I mean, if you're free to do it if you want. If you want to put it on a hardware wallet, nobody's stopping you. But I mean, I'd keep it in a bank. I would like to walk through with him. I doubt he'll ever come on the podcast, and, frankly, I don't care, like, it actually don't if you guys have not noticed, I don't interview a lot of people because I just don't care. I will interview people that I feel as though are interesting to interview. Um, but I would, I would interview him because I think he'd be interesting to interview, and what I'd do is I'd ask him, I'd be like, okay, so in what scenario is it better to live in the current system as opposed to the old system, or the current system as opposed to the new system, the Bitcoin system where everybody self custodies. What scenario is it better to stay with that than work towards a self custody scenario? Be fascinated to hear that answer because I have a feeling it would be a very fiat minded answer. I don't know, but that's me putting words in his mouth. Um, so I don't want to do that, but hey, he'll probably never come on the show and whatever. I don't care. Uh, and I'm not, I'm just, when I see these messages going out there, I have to um, say something because it, I feel like the void, sometimes I feel like I'm yelling into the void, because it's like, do we really not hear ourselves going through this again? Why you should self custody? Um, it's going to drive me insane. But somebody needs to be the voice of reason. I think that would be of value to point out that that's a stupid idea, especially when I mean, when did that happen? That was, I mean, Bitcoin, like especially when Bitcoin's worth $68,862. You know, you might want to self custody that. You don't want the bank to say, "Hey, look, I'm sorry. Someone came along, knocked on the door, seized everything. My bad. My bad." Um, but there is an element that is hair raising. Um, you know, whenever you self custody, it is it is you know uh, an intimidating moment when you're taking things into your own hands and controlling your Bitcoin. I kind of compare it to any step in life. Whenever you take the step towards doing something with more responsibility, you know, for example, when you went out on your own from your parents or whoever raised you, when you then took the step into adulthood and went, to college or wherever, moved out on your own, that first moment when you're stepping out, no matter how ready you are for it, is a little hair raising. You're like, whew, okay. Like this is a big moment. This is different. This is a change, but it's a good change. And then you get out there and you get used to it and you realize that life is better this way. This is the proper progress. This is the way things were supposed to be. And you're better for it. So maybe that's what, you know, letting someone else custody your Bitcoin, that's like you're, living in your parents' house. And then you need to take that moment and become a grown up and figure it out for yourself. Because if you do not have it figured out for yourself, someone will come along and figure it out for you, and you might not like the answer. In the meantime, get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet, and I will talk to you guys later.